All right, I need some advice. I have a PC question for you and also for our audience. I'm just going to kind of crowdsource the advice here a little bit because I can't screw this up.
Yeah, the personal computer, I can help you with that.
Yes, the IBM compatible.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sure you must have tried this at some point in the past. I need to power some hard drives hooked up to a computer, but not off the power supply running that computer.
Yeah, you can buy a thing that does that. I have it right here.
No. This you're okay for the audio listeners out there, which is 100% of you. The thing you just held up is some kind of like SATA to USB-C thing.
Yeah, you plug USB-C into the computer and then you just jam the other end into the butt of your hard drive.
Well, so this is 4 hard drives, and I think they might be 7,200 RPM, so that might not cut it.
So you get 4 of those.
Okay, I've got an extra ATX power supply.
Okay,
here's what I have. This is like weirdly hard to research, or I have not been able to find a lot of like very definitive, yes, this is how you do this. But what I've gathered looking online is that you can plug the drives into the ATX power supply.
Yep.
And just bridge those 2 pins, right? Whichever 2 pins it is on the 24-pin ATX connector, you can just kind of jump it.
Yeah, so I used to do that with a paperclip. You'd cut a piece of paperclip off and fold it over and jam it across the 2 pins.
Right. So I don't even have to do that. I've got my good Seasonic power supply came with like an official one of those that you plug into the thing. That
a jumper. Does it have a resistor on to put a little bit of load on it too?
I don't know about that.
So I was gonna say the thing that I would do is I'm sure somebody makes one. I don't actually own one, but I'm sure somebody makes a thing that you plug into the ATX connector that does the jump or puts a switch across those pins, and also puts a resistor so you get a load on whatever rail you're supposed. Because the thing, and it may not be a problem on new power supplies, but at least in the old days, you always had to make sure you put a resistor on that. Because if you ran the power supply without any load on or with too low a load, then bad things would happen.
What kind of bad things? So this is what I'm worried about.
Power supply.
Okay. So this is what I'm worried about because it's for basically brand new hard drives. It's the ones I bought last year on Black Friday sales and stuff. I'm finally 3 years after I bought that USB enclosure to do backups from my server. I think that enclosure has been sitting here on the floor for 3 years.
Sometimes they just have to age.
I think that's my project for while we're off from Nextlander next week is I'm finally going to start doing those Raspberry Pi backups down the hall of my NAS nightly. But
can I ask a stupid question?
Yes.
Why don't you just use the USB enclosure?
Because it's incredibly slow. Incredibly slow.
Oh.
So this is something I found out. I think, did I talk about this?
We talked about this. Yeah.
No, this detail, though. I don't know if I ever circled back around and told you this detail. It's a USB 3 hard drive enclosure. It takes 4 drives, and they're like SATA connections. It's got a SATA controller in it that they plug into. I could never figure out why that thing was so slow. And then at some point, I looked at the specs and realized that it's SATA 2.
That shouldn't make that much of a difference, though.
I think it would make that much of a difference, but it totally does.
Well, yeah. Does it like do some weird striping across the drives, or does each drive show up as its own device? And when you plug it in,
it's JBOD. It's just the drives just show up to the operating system, so that's fine. But I'm talking like 4 times slower than running the drives straight off of the motherboard SATA controller. So,
I mean, this thing was $8, and you could just buy 4 of them. It does say it works with any hard drive, so it gets enough power to spin the metal.
I've got a very nice extra ATX power supply just sitting right here.
Okay. Well, I mean, so yeah. So then in that case, you get a big resistor and a couple of wires and a paper clip, and you're good to go. Just make sure you're really, really sure which pin is the one pin when you're counting. Because if you jam them in the wrong ones, the magic smoke comes out.
Well, I think that tester only goes on one way. It's the thing that came with my other power supply. Yeah. Like I think it only goes in one way, so that's fine. But
are you using it with the power supply it came with?
Yes.
Okay, then you're good to go.
Like, do I time it with the boot of the machine? I guess if the SATA ports are set to hot pluggable in the UEFI, it should be okay to just power them up whenever.
I would turn the secondary power supply on first and then turn the computer on. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, but also, why don't you just plug it into your main power supply?
Because I'm out of SATA. This is in my server that already has 10 hard drives in it.
Oh, that's too many hard drives, Brad.
That's a lot. Well, so what if that was about to be 16 hard drives? That's even more.
That's too many hard drives, Brad.
Yeah. Well, look, when you insist on mirroring everything, the drive count goes up rapidly.
Fair.
How do I turn it off? Do I just flip the rocker switch on the power supply when I'm done?
Just unplug it.
Well, I could just turn the switch off if I'm going to do that.
Well, yeah, I mean, flip the switch off. Yeah, the same thing.
Do I shut the machine? Like inverse of the question I just asked about booting up. Do I shut the main machine down first and then power off the drives, or?
I mean, I would just unmount those drives and do the safe eject thing, and then
turn them off.
Yank the power. But I don't. I mean, SATA is supposed to be hot pluggable, but I've always a little bit hinky about that unless it's in a hot plug rack or something. So
yeah, like I said, I really hope to hear from some people on the Discord who have done something like this before I try this.
So the safe way to do it is to turn off the server first and then turn off the drive power.
Yeah. Okay.
Because the drives can spin without any data connection on them. Sure. There's no problem.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'll wait for feedback from the audience before I try this, but
or you could buy this little guy.
Gonna try this.
It's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I used it to back up a whole bunch of crappy old SSDs.
I mean, does that just spin up the drive? Well, you probably haven't even tried that with a hard drive. Like, I don't know that really fixes my problem though of powering drives off of something other than the computer that's running them.
But then
still got the weird sync stuff.
Look, I think you could just get rid of your USB cage and just plug those into 4 of those into the Raspberry Pi.
With what?
And leave it dangling.
With what?
Well,
wait, is that power and data over USB-C?
Power and data over USB-C, yeah.
What am I going to plug 4 USB-Cs into on a Raspberry Pi?
Well, you get a to C hub and
I don't think that hub is going to supply power to run 4 hard drives.
You just look, Brad, life finds a way, okay?
I will make this work.
I'm going to make a JBOD with 4 of these and a whole bunch of old SSDs. I'll let you know how it goes.
All right.
Welcome to Brad and Will Made a Tech Pod. I'm Will.
I'm Brad.
See, I was just going to talk about blueberry muffins.
Blueberry muffins as opposed to Raspberry Pis?
Look, my wife went to the grocery store and she got these Dolly Parton branded, flavored,
what?
I guess. Dolly Parton flavored blueberry muffins.
Okay, we got to stop talking about food items flavored.
What? Well,
by people.
I mean, it just says, hold on, I'm going to look it up. It's Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton branded, not Dolly Parton flavored. Thank you.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. The Selena Gomez ones did not say branded. It just said flavored.
Yeah, no, I know.
This one says it's Dolly Parton's blueberry muffin and bread mix. And I will tell you, pretty baller blueberry muffins.
Oh, this is Duncan Hines.
It's a Duncan Hines mix. It's like a cake mix.
It's like a Dolly Parton special edition.
Yeah.
Blueberry muffin.
It's a collab, I think.
How is it?
It's fantastic. It was really, I ate 2 of them. I was like, I'm going to have a muffin. And then the muffin was so good, it was gone.
Man.
So I horked down another one before the podcast real quick. So I'm double muffin Friday over here.
All right. Okay. Well, you're fueled up and ready to talk about mobile devices.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I should have technically had an Apple muffin rather than nobody makes computers named blueberries anymore. But
there aren't a lot of apple muffin recipes out there, are there? I don't know if I've ever seen an apple muffin. Like
usually
cranberry,
like branny.
Yeah, there's like cranberry.
It's applesauce muffins.
I'm trying to think of other fruit muffins.
So I do an applesauce dark flour bran kind of muffiny deal sometimes. Those are pretty delish.
That sounds all right.
Yeah, they're real moist, but they're not apple-y. I think apple is usually streusel and your Danish is an apple Danish sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I like a donut, an apple cinnamon donut filled with the goop.
Mm-hmm. How about an Apple Watch?
I mean, I would watch an Apple. That's what you're saying, to see what happens. Like the other day, I pulled out a parking space. There was one behind me, and I almost ran over it with the car. And I was like, "Oh no, I don't want to do that. Then my tires will be slippery."
That would be bad.
Yeah, but I think you're talking about Apple Core's Apple Watch.
I'm sorry,
the new one.
Apple Cores.
Isn't it called Apple Core?
I think we're torturing this fruit metaphor.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's too much.
Look, I'm on iced coffee, so I don't drink as much coffee before we start the podcast right now.
That's fair. I woke up at 4:30 this morning, so I'm also a little ragged. But we were talking about what to do for the topic this week, and the Apple event happened, and you suggested it, and I was like, we feel like the Apple stuff is like kind of whatever these days. Do we really need to cover another Apple thing? And then I actually started looking through all these products and I was like, oh, this actually seems like a pretty strong year for refreshes of Apple stuff. There's actually a lot to talk about here.
I mean, I think so. Yeah, the TLDR is that they did their normal September event the other day and they announced the usual slate of phones plus a new phone that we've never seen before. It's thin. Spoilers, I guess. Mm-hmm. And then they're updating the AirPod Pro 3 with some stuff that's interesting as a person who uses AirPod Pro 2s every single day. And then the watch update's kind of, I think, the most meh part of the whole thing. But
I mean, well, yes and no. I mean, there's nothing radical about it, but it might be enough to make me get this watch.
So their core message around the Apple Watch is if you don't buy this, you're going to die.
I don't think that's quite how they presented it, but sure.
Like, look, man, the opening video for this scene is a whole bunch of people in like medical distress who made hiking mistakes, whose lives were then saved by their Apple Watches.
I don't usually do this for these Apple episodes, but I watched the entirety of the presentation last night.
Yeah.
That segment on Apple Watch saved my life was like the most like sort of heartstring tugging.
I mean, look, I guess Apple Watch will, if you don't buy this, you will die is better than buy this or will kill you. So like, good job, Apple.
Sure.
But it still feels a bit much.
Yeah.
They're adding a couple of new sensors that are like the one of the big themes was, hey, we're adding machine learning, not necessarily generative AI, but machine learning plus stuff that we're already doing or to modified sensors or to new sensors to get some new juice out of the old devices. One of those things is a high blood pressure test suite thing. It's not exactly a blood pressure sensor, but they're using the cameras in the watch to detect how the actual blood flows through your veins to detect. I assume they're looking for like second order indicators of high blood pressure, like rather than putting the cuff on your arm and actually measuring the temperature, the pressure at which you have to squeeze the arm before blood stops coming through. You're
not getting God, I can never remember. Was it systolic systolic and diastolic? Are those the two?
Systolic and diastolic are the two things. Yeah.
You're not getting the two numbers out of this, to be clear. But and also I think that they said they definitely were quick to say, like, this will not detect all instances of hypertension, but it will catch a lot of them.
Yeah, the idea is it's the same reason that when you go to the dentist, they always check your blood pressure. It's because most people who have high blood pressure don't realize they have high blood pressure until after it should already have been treated.
Yeah.
And so,
it seems like there's like more and more thought in the medical community that high blood pressure contributes to like a lot more other bad conditions than maybe was previously understood.
That's entirely possible.
Like I've seen it referenced in regard to dementia, for example.
Oh yeah,
and things like that. It's like things you wouldn't expect, beyond just like heart attack and stuff.
Yeah,
so this could actually be a pretty good thing to have.
I mean, honestly, this is one of the things as somebody who has a family history of high blood pressure and takes my blood pressure at least once a month at home with a meter on the advice of my medical professionals. This is a compelling. Like a blood pressure sensor is really interesting in the watch. The thing that they're doing where they like over a period of time give you a notification if they think you should go have it checked out isn't exactly what I'm looking for. I actually was hoping that they would have something that gives me the numbers that I'm supposed to send to my that I'm supposed to track to make sure I don't need to call my doctor. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's probably just outside the scope of what something like this can do on your wrist.
Yeah. And like in reality, I got a prescription for a thing that was $100, I think. That I charge like once a year and I put it on my watch. I put it on my arm. It puffs up. It gives the number on my phone. And then, it tells me when I need to call the doctor. They're doing more sleep stuff, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, is this sleep score thing new? Because like they've been doing sleep tracking for a while, but is it like gamify your sleep as you've written in the notes? Like is that?
Yeah, they gamify your sleep.
That has not been done before?
They would give you a graph before. So if you go to your health app on your phone, you would get this graph that has like, it's four colors. It's red, light blue, medium blue, and purple. And they indicate the different stages of sleep. And it kind of shows you where you are in different stages based on the time of night. So you can see like, oh, I woke up at 2:00 in the morning to pee last night. Right. When you look at this graph.
Yeah.
The new thing is that they give you a sleep score on a daily basis that tells you, hey, last night I scored 20 of 20 for interruptions. I woke up twice and I was up for 2 minutes total and then went right back to sleep, which, pretty normal. There was a garbage truck that came by at 4 o'clock in the morning and I had to pee at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Does that thing ever show you wake ups that you don't remember? Like, obviously you get up to go pee, you remember that, but like, do you see periods of wakingness on there that you were not aware of at the time?
I mean, look, my lawyers advised me not to answer this question. But no, I don't actually look at it all that often.
Okay.
And I am a incredibly light sleeper usually. So like when my wife comes to bed or when my wife gets up to go to the bathroom or like the garbage truck 3 streets over drives by or some kid blows by on a motorcycle at 60 miles an hour, I'm going to wake up whether I get out of bed or not. It seems to be tied to movement. So like, obviously if I get up and get out of bed, then it's going to change. That also does. It's also always tracks stuff like your breathing rates and stuff like that. While you're asleep, your heart rate while you're asleep, maxes and mins. But so the new thing is this score where it just says, hey, last night you slept 4 hours and 19 minutes. That's a 23 out of 50. That wasn't great. So like last night, I'm going to give my actual numbers here, I guess. Good job, me. I put the iOS beta on my phone the other day so that I could do this. You're welcome, America.
Oh,
I got a 23 out of 50 because my duration was only 4 hours and 19 minutes for total sleep.
Wait, I'm sorry. Is this the sleep score that you're talking about?
This is the sleep score, yeah.
Oh, so does this is not limited to the new watch?
No, so this is just a feature of and I don't even have the new OS on the watch. This is just using the old OS on the watch and the new OS on the phone.
Oh, they did not make it clear that this is just rolling out to everybody.
It's weird how they act like things are new features for the devices that maybe are just features for the entire line.
Oh.
I got a 30 out of 30 because my bedtime was only 2 minutes later than average. And I got a 20 out of 20 because I only had 2 interruptions, 2 wake ups, so 2 minutes total. So
your sleep is just so.
I only knocked down a 73. The interesting thing is I was able to go back and pull, like I can see my old data from previous weeks. And like I never hit excellent. I'm never an excellent sleeper, apparently. My highest score is an 87 on Friday, August 1st. So I guess that was a restful night for me.
Well, something to aspire to.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome that they do this. I cannot go to bed. I cannot sleep with a watch on. So I will never benefit from this, but it's cool they do it.
It's funny. I slept with a watch for years and years and years. And I used to have that soft, stretchy wristband, the non-plastic one. And that one was fabulous for sleeping with. The one I have now is a little less good, but it turns out I don't mind. I don't sleep with the watch every night anymore, though. It's like maybe twice a week. It yells at me.
Yeah. Last thing real quick on the health tip before we talk about the hardware improvements. This is actually from last month, but they apparently have finally settled this patent dispute over the blood oxygenation feature. Remember that they took out of, I think it was series 9 and 10 didn't have it.
Yeah, it's in 7 and 8, but it's not in 9 and 10, I think.
I have an 8 and it's still got the blood ox, but I forget what the ins and outs of it were. There was some medical device company that they got into a patent dispute with.
Yeah, they tried to buy a company, if I recall, and then the company said, no, we don't want to get bought. So they just reinvented their technology and broke their patents, and then the company sued them, and it's been tied up in court.
Yeah. Anyway, so they have brought the blood ox feature back to all watches, I guess, that lost it, including this new one.
That's nice.
It's unclear how they I think they described it as redesigned is the term they use, and it's unclear to me how they got around this patent issue. It sounds like maybe they shunted the processing off to your phone as a way of circumventing the patent. Like maybe the patent was for like the wearable itself does the processing. So now it seems like the watch reports all the data to your phone to do the blood ox calculations.
Yes, a loophole.
I'm not clear if you can still just see the number on your watch like you used to be able to. So that might be a bit of a downgrade. I'm not clear, but at least it's back in some form, which is nice.
I'll be honest. The only time I've ever really used that is the first time I had COVID when I was really sick. And my wife was trying to stay out of the room that I was in. And I just shared the blood ox data with her so she could look at it when it ran. And then she didn't have to worry about it, and I didn't have to worry about it. It was really good.
That's neat. That is a futuristic scenario that you just described. That's cool. I mean, yeah, I've not used it often for anything particularly actionable about, but hey, it sucks losing functionality that you used to have. So it's nice that it's back.
Sometimes I like to see how high I can make the number go.
Yeah.
My biggest number is 100.
Yeah, turns out.
Yeah.
That's about as high as you can go.
Yeah. Can't beat 100%, I guess.
I don't know that you can oversaturate your blood.
So they have 3 new watches, Apple Watch 11, Apple Watch Ultra 3, Apple Watch SE 3. They kind of seem like they're all basically the same watch this go round. What
do you mean? Or they all seem very iterative on their previous incarnations, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, well, okay. So the another one of the overarching themes is they're putting ceramic shield 2, I think.
Well, yes.
Is what they call it.
So has ceramic shield been a term that Apple? I have not kept up as much.
That's their. Hey, we took the hard glass and then did some ionization business to make it harder, and now guess what, Brad?
What's
it's
that?
Even harder than it was before.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely like 3 different times in that presentation talked about how the ceramic layer bonds with the glass at the atomic level.
Well, that makes, I mean, if you're ionizing the glass or whatever, look, man, they name stuff weird. Okay.
Yeah, but they do. So the thing though that I noted, I don't believe with the watch is that they didn't say the word ceramic shield like they did with all the iPhone models. They definitely talked about ceramic coating on the watch glass, but they did not actually use the...
Oh, they didn't use the ceramic shield term there?
I don't think they used capital C, capital S, ceramic shield around the watch, but they did say they're doing the ceramic layer on the watch now, and they said the new watch glass is 2 times as scratch resistant as the 10 was, which is good for me because my 8 is scratched to hell.
Yeah, I mean, they get scratched, and there's not really a way you can put a screen protector on because of the curved nature of the...
Yeah, and I wouldn't want to anyway, honestly.
Look, I don't mind a little bit of a screen protector, but yeah. So yeah, you're right. There is no ceramic shield mention on the Apple Watch page.
Yeah. I don't know if that's actually notable, but it kind of jumped out to me. But like, if the 2X number can be believed, that seems pretty good. Because like I said, my 3-year-old watch is pretty dinged up at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a beating. Mine, I'm on a watch that I think is a year older than yours, and this is the first one I've looked at and thought, oh, maybe I should upgrade. But I think I'm going to go another. I think I'm going to ride this one down until they stop doing updates for it. Yeah, and then I'll buy another one.
That's valid. The thing for me is that last year it got thinner and a bigger screen.
Yeah.
And so like thinner, bigger screen, way more scratch resistant. And the other one is that they are now claiming 24 hours of battery life instead of 18.
18, yeah. Like
all of those together is like pretty compelling to me.
So it's funny because mine has almost always given me 24 hours of battery. Like I often will put mine in. I guess with the fast charge, my use is that usually when I'm in the shower, I put it on the charger when I'm wearing it around the clock.
Oh, sure.
And that's usually enough to get me where I need to be.
Yeah, it's not. Battery life's not a huge problem for me. I have gotten to the point where if I have like a long exercise day, like if I'm out for like an hour and I listen to podcasts straight off the watch, so I'm like, yeah, Bluetooth audio and it's doing position tracking and exercise tracking and stuff. Like I'm definitely having days where I'm below 10% by the time I put it back on the charger.
On days that I go on long walks and actually hit the button that says, hey, do you want to record an outdoor walk? And it does heart rate and all that while I'm exercising. You're absolutely right. That definitely hits it more. So
having a little extra buffer would be nice. I mean, it's not a deal breaker, but like all of these improvements together are maybe enough for me to, because I use the watch constantly. It's like kind of core to my daily operation.
It's funny because for me, it's just a thing that buzzes when I need to look at the phone most of the time.
That's actually like my least favorite feature of the watch. I've actually thought about moving all notifications back to the phone, but
well, anyway. I mean, look, it's mostly when I'm out, like if I'm at the PC World office or in the studio or something, I have it set so that it pings when my wife or daughter texts me pretty much. And that's it.
Yeah.
And I don't miss those anymore, which is nice. Let's see. They also added a new modem, which they're saying is more efficient, gives better coverage on the cellular models.
Is this the first time it's had 5G? They kind of made it sound that way.
I think so. I don't know that it matters for the watch.
No, probably. Well, it only matters insofar as like that's what's maybe more available now. Well, I guess LTE is probably going to be with us for quite a while as a fallback, but like it's to me, it's more about like what has better signal coverage. Like what are you going to get a better experience with as opposed to like raw speed?
Yeah, 100%. It's interesting they didn't talk about so they developed their own modem this spring, and as far as I know, they didn't say that this is their modem. This is still somebody else's modem.
Yeah, I would guess.
Modem. I assume it's Qualcomm.
Yeah, it's going to have to be different design in a package this small, obviously, than what's in the phone.
Well, maybe. But yeah, I would assume that at some point in the future, all of the cellular modems will be Apple designed across their entire product line.
I am absolutely sure they are moving in that direction for the watches as well.
There's two finishes, aluminum and titanium. The aluminum is in black, silver, rose gold, and gray.
Yeah.
The titanium is natural golden slate, and they're not the shiny titaniums. They're the kind of natural finished titanium like the iPhone 15 and 16.
What is titanium harder than aluminum? What's the advantage
Titanium
there?
is harder and lighter, and it doesn't bend very much. It's very has high tensile strength, I think is what that's called. I can't remember. Apple Watch 3 is 800. That starts at $400 and goes Ultra 3, yeah. $800. It's the same big flat screen as the last one. It looks like it's a little bit thinner. They say it's bigger and brighter. It has satellite connectivity that you can send messages with now if you have a cellular plan, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, that's been on the phone for a while, right?
Yeah, but I think this is the first time it's been on the watch alone. And it's up to 42 hours of battery now. Other than that, it seems kind of the same.
That's 42 hours of battery is kind of crazy, but I mean, most people don't need that.
But that's 42 hours in like full power mode. If you put it in low power mode, it goes even longer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that thing feels like it's actually made for people who are doing straight up outdoor adventuring type stuff.
Or people who work in technology, Brad. I see a lot of them just walking around San Francisco.
No, I get it. I continue to really like the flat screen on that thing. And I much less like the grotesque size of it.
The flat screen is the big draw for me. And
I even less like the grotesque size of the price. Like I wish I could get the price and general size of the standard like Series 11, but with a flat. I don't mind the bubble shaped glass too much, but I kind of like the flat.
Well, the flat glass better. You could actually put a screen protector on so it doesn't get gouged up.
Yeah.
The thing that's interesting. So this is basically right at the price that the old watches were when they had the stainless cases, right?
Okay.
So to me, this makes a lot more sense than buying the titanium finish normal Apple Watch, I think.
Sure.
Because you do get that extra battery life and the satellite stuff. And like, if you want to go scuba diving, you can do that, whatever.
It's just too big for me, I think.
Yeah. I have dainty girl wrists, so I'm not going to probably wear a watch that big. Apple Watch SE 3 starts at $250.
Seems like a pretty big upgrade here. That's got the same chip as the other two now.
Yeah. So this is, I want to say they do this every 3 years. It seems like now, maybe 4 years. Cause my daughter got an SE2 the year that we got one of those for her, the year it came out. And yeah, it's an S10 chip, always on screen. Finally for that, the old ones didn't have an always on screen. Battery life was kind of always a problem on it. It has all the gestures that the newer watches have now, which it hasn't had recently. And it gets the sleep apnea and sleep score and temperature sensing and fall detection and all the stuff that's on the newer model Apple Watches that's carried forward into the 11 and the Ultra 3.
Does it have all the health stuff like the hypertension? Probably not. They would have said so.
They didn't say anything about the hypertension. Yeah. I think it has the stuff. I think it's basically the last year stuff, not this year stuff, because sleep apnea was a last year thing, I believe.
Sure.
18-hour battery life. It has fast charging now, which is the big deal. The old one was a slow charger, like the Apple Series 1 and newer charger speed. So it took like 2 hours to charge overnight. The fast charging means you get like 8 hours and 15 minutes, which is nice. And it comes in Starlight and Midnight, which I guess are dark and light versions. I don't know. I don't think you can get a cell modem with that either. That's the big differentiator.
Got it.
And as always, it's like the small one is $250 and the big one is $100 more, I believe. So that's it. That's watches. They're like, I don't know. I was hoping the blood pressure was going to be more thinner, better, smaller, whatever. Seems fine. If you don't have a watch, get a watch. If you don't want to watch, that's fine.
Seems like a good time to get in if you don't have. I'm on the fence. I might get this one, or I might try to squeeze one more year out. But this feels like a good, solid, all around upgrade.
Yeah, it's not bad. AirPod Pro 3. This is my favorite Apple product, I think, right now. By a pretty wide margin. They're saying that the audio sounds better, which they do every time. I'll let you know when I get a pair and I'll tell you how they actually sound.
You don't say our sound producing device has better sound this time.
The big claim is that they say their active noise canceling is two times better than the Pro 2, which is already kind of remarkable. Like the Pro 2, I'm afraid to use the noise canceling when I'm like out in public for fear that I won't hear a bus or something coming up on me.
Wow.
Interesting. It's really good at filtering background stuff. The transparency mode is incredible on those. It doesn't sound like you have headphones in that are piping things through. It just sounds like what's outside. The big change on that is that you're getting your own voice now through that as well. So it should be, my guess is it's going to be indistinguishable from not having AirPods in.
Wait, what is transparency filter? Or like how does it determine what to let through and what not?
Well, so there's 3 modes, right? Transparency it works like your ears don't have anything in them.
Oh, at all? It's letting everything through?
It lets everything through.
Oh, okay.
I think it'll reduce volume. You can set it to reduce volume of loud sounds if you don't want to get hearing damage. There's the noise canceling, which is the don't let anything through, right? And that means it's hard to hear people talking to you. And it's like if I'm having trouble, if I want to take a nap and the house is loud, I'll put those in the afternoon, and then people have to come touch me because they can't talk to me from the door, basically. And then the third one is the adaptive mode, which kind of splits the difference, and it uses some processing on the device to decide what to let through and what to filter. So like traffic noise, water running, wind noise, stuff like that gets filtered out. But it detects voices and sends them through.
The active noise canceling is I might also I've been waiting on a 3rd gen AirPod Pro to buy.
It's been a long time. Yeah.
And the active noise canceling is like the reason I want them. I think basically I'm still using corded Bose noise canceling headphones on flights. And I think my last trip, I finally reached the end of my patience for corded headphones on a flight.
So I bought a pair of the 2s 4 years ago, I think, when they came. Like I bought them the day they came out because I'd been waiting, and the ANC is as good as anything. Like it's as good as the best Sony stuff I've ever heard.
Okay, that's a strong endorsement. I wouldn't have minded maybe a little bit of indication of what their methodology was for saying, hey, it's 2x better noise canceling than the Pro 2. It's 4x better than the Pro 1. Like maybe some metrics to help underpin that determination would have been nice, but whatever.
And also it's weird because when those aren't like, there's no 0 point on those bars, right? Like there's no, I guess there's 100% noise reduction.
Yeah.
And you can get closer to that bar. So each time you get closer, it's going to be a smaller, each 2x will be a smaller reduction in noise. But anyway, apparently they're designed to fit in your ears better, which is nice. I use foam tips on mine instead of the ones, the latex silicone ones that they come with.
Yeah.
Or silicone ones that they come with, because the silicone ones irritate my skin and the foam ones don't. They talked about a lot live translation, which people have, Samsung and Google have both taken a stab at this now, and both of them were kind of duds by all reports.
Okay.
But the idea is that it filters down the other person's actual voice, and you hear a translation in your language in your ears moments after they say the thing that they're saying. You can also pair it with your phone so that you can say things back to the person, and they'll hear that they'll either get a written or spoken description of what you're saying to them. And then they had one part of the video that showed people doing a back and forth chat where everybody involved was wearing AirPod Pros, and they were all hearing, one guy was speaking Portuguese and the other guy was speaking in English, and everybody was able to hear everybody in their own language, and it was magical.
Yeah. It's kind of getting into like the Star Trek Universal Translator territory.
Kind of. I
don't believe for a second that this works as seamlessly as that. Or
yeah.
I mean, this sounds like a, like you said, kind of a first gen attempt at something like this. And, it's probably going to be maybe on the AirPod Pro 5 or something is when this will really reach maturity and be like seamlessly usable. But, it's an interesting idea.
Well, my guess is that it uses the AI acceleration stuff, the neural processing stuff on the phone.
Yeah,
this isn't actually obviously happening on the earbud itself.
There's no way.
Well, I mean, there are ways, but like I don't think we're there yet.
I guess what I mean is I don't think there's any way they could do it on the earbuds in a way that would be acceptable. Like I'm sure you could probably do some version of this.
It would just be slow and crappy.
But yeah, that's what I mean. Like to kind of achieve the experience that Apple's probably going for. I'm sure that stuff's going through the phone.
I'm curious about how this works in practice. Color me skeptical here.
Yeah.
They made them smaller. They fit in your ears better. There's new sensors on them, including and this is one of my favorite topics that people don't ever think about. If you design products that fit like the 90th percentile of people, like the 90 most common, like the most common body shapes, and you cut off, 800 million people or something, they're shipping with more tips and design the AirPods to fit in more people's ears more effectively. And they said it was based on 3D scans of people's ears, which is one of the things you do when you set up the ANC and transparency mode for the phone if you want it to work well. So you aim your depth camera at the side of your head with when you're setting them up, and it makes a picture of your ear and then changes the way it models the sound a little bit for that. But the shipping with 5 tips is nice because if you want your kids to be able to use these, or if you have big ear holes, I guess you need bigger and or smaller ear tips. And it's IP57 sweat and water resistance, which means don't go in the pool with them. But if it rains, you're fine.
Is that new?
On this generation, that's new. They had a lesser version of the water resistance on the previous ones, so IP48, I think, but don't quote me on that.
That's like maybe my one reservation for getting these is, I don't know that I would ever use these for working out. I would probably stick to my like $30 sound cores that are perfectly fine.
Well, so I would say, so I paid for Apple Care on the AirPods last time, mainly because the batteries I was worried that the batteries were going to conk out in the EarPods. They do a good job managing battery with them, doing the slow charge past 80% and only charging when you need and all that stuff. I had problems getting one of the AirPods to charge when I went to when I was getting near the end of my Apple Care period. And so I went to the Apple store and they just gave me a brand new one. I would go. I would if you're going to work out, I would pay for Apple Care. If you're not, I probably wouldn't. That's what I was going to say.
I would probably.
It's like $2 a month or something for Apple Care on these.
How long does that last? Is that 2 years? 2
years. It was basically when I got them for $50 off and then paid an additional $50 for Apple Care, which meant that I got a free pair at the end of the 2 year period.
That's a pretty good deal. These would probably be for flights and going around town. Probably not for exercise for me.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I use them a lot in the house, hooked up to the Apple TV when I don't want to make noise and I'm watching TV.
Sure.
Which works well.
I'd probably wear them. I listen to a lot of podcasts around the house doing chores and stuff. I'd probably wear them for that too. Anyway.
Podcasts, eh?
Keeping them clean and nice. For a pair of earbuds this nice, I would want to keep them in good shape. But
yeah. See, I use them until they explode. I mean, I've read the AirPod Pro's 2s down probably for what it's worth. Heart rate sensing is neat.
It seems like this is all new, right? It seems like they basically made this so that you don't need a watch or a phone on you to do the basic fitness tracking anymore.
Well, I mean, you still need a watch to do some of the fitness tracking, but you don't need a watch to do heart rate sensing.
Okay.
The heart rate sensing works through, there's a sensor that touches the skin inside your ears, and it works basically the same way as the Apple Watch version. The interesting thing is, like the Apple Watch one, you have to be kind of still for it to work, because like if you bounce your wrist around too much, it stops working. Apparently these AirPods are pretty secure in your ears, because like I would guess that they don't move. They're not super heavy. I don't know. I'm curious to see how that works.
Yeah, the watch sensing is a bit of a problem for me when I exercise, because I have to tighten the band. Like you said, I like to keep it a little bit loose around the house where it kind of slides a little bit, but then it can't read anything if I keep it like that when I'm out moving around. So I have to tighten it basically to the point that my wrist gets incredibly sweaty with the, I have the,
plastic band
sport loop. It's the solid silicone one that like doesn't breathe at all. So my wrist is just like extremely gross and sweaty by the time I get back.
So I'm getting one of the Velcro nylon loops next time.
Yeah. So anyway, nice to have this. I'm trying to like figure out the use case here though. Like putting all this exercise sensing stuff in the earbuds is cool, but what's the point of having earbuds if you don't have another device on you anyway to play audio from?
Well, I think a lot of people do phones and don't have a watch.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah, I think they're. My guess is that they have some pretty strong data that getting people into the Apple Fitness ecosystem makes them customers for life. Therefore, more entry points into the Apple Fitness ecosystem equals more customers for life.
Now this makes perfect sense.
The battery's better on these. It's 8 hours on a single charge versus I think 6 previously for the AirPods themselves.
Is that like 8 hours of playback?
That's 8 hours of playback on the air. So for folks who don't know, the AirPods, the case has a battery and each individual AirPod has a battery.
Yeah.
That's 8 hours on the pods. You plug it back into the mothership to refill that. And that usually takes like 15 minutes or something. It's really fast.
I think that's everything now. Like I've got multiple sets of earbuds, like cheaper ones, like from multiple sources. And like everybody has just adopted the Apple style of the case is the battery.
Well, it turns out getting rid of the connection ports using inductive chargers, getting rid of the connection ports is a good way to keep them from getting ruined when they get wet. It turns out.
Yep.
It's 10 hours of transparency mode, which it's interesting because like when I went to see that Taylor Swift concert and I wanted to not blow my ears out, I just put the AirPods in and put it in the adaptive mode, and it let the music through and it muffled the sound enough that I wasn't able to I didn't have ringing ears and I could still talk to people around me.
Yeah, that's cool. We don't have it in the notes, but they mentioned the hearing aid aspect of these as well, and like the battery is better there as well. That's
the transparency mode stuff. Yeah, there's no changes to the hearing aid stuff for this model versus the previous one. So if you're using the previous ones, the only difference is the battery life improvement. And they did talk about a conversation mode change and then didn't reference it again. So I don't know what that was about. I couldn't find any follow up about that. But the conversation mode is the thing that focuses it's an adaptive thing that brings human voices to the forefront. So like I have trouble picking out people's voices in environments that have a lot of background hubbub, especially if their voices are in certain ranges. And this uses the adaptive mode to help with that.
Yeah. I think I'm in for these. Of all the products in this announcement, like I might upgrade my watch, I might not, but I don't have like nice high quality earbuds. Mine are all pretty crappy.
Look, you've been AirPod curious for a while. It's time.
And so here's the other thing, and hopefully we'll get some testing data when these come out on this, but I would assume the AirPods 2 also or Pro 2 are perfectly adequate for this. It's Switch 2. That's the other thing, or Switch, because the other reason I've clung to my corded noise canceling headphones is that the Switch 1 has pretty crappy Bluetooth audio support.
Yeah.
And it was nice to just plug headphones straight into that thing and not have latency and stuff. But if the Switch 2 works well with these without any real appreciable latency, I am 100% in, because that was kind of my last holdout on nice earbuds.
So I think I've used the Pro 2s with the Switch 2. The one thing you should know about the AirPod Pros is because they use their semi-proprietary layer on top of Bluetooth. If you start using them with non-Apple devices, then it's a little more fiddly to connect them. Like,
okay,
if you move from your iPad to your phone to your TV to your Mac, and you're all in the Mac ecosystem, it just goes to whichever device you're using, and you don't have to think about it. You don't have to do anything.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Oh my God, are you serious? Because I have to my little sound cores. I have to, depending on if I want to listen off the watch or the phone, that's like takes some very annoying fiddling in the settings. So that's rad.
Yeah, so like you just hit the AirPlay button and pick the AirPods out of the list.
Wow.
Including on the TV. Like this is what I love about the Apple TV. So I'm often up at I wake up early in the morning and I often want to watch like TV that Gina's not interested in watching or the kiddo's not interested in watching. And so I'll load it up in the living room, put the AirPods in, get the full positional sound, and like I don't make any noise and wake up anybody in the house, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Old guy problems.
Anyway, whatever. I can handle a little bit of pairing fiddliness with the Switch if it works well.
What I was going to say is you should actually look for that in reviews, because they have their history of supporting non-Apple products is janky. Usually they're good on PCs and phones. For whatever reason, I could never get my AirPod Pros to work right with the Steam Deck. Like they just don't want to pair with the Bluetooth in the Steam Deck, which is entirely possible. It's a weird Linux thing on the Steam Deck side, but anyway, stuff to know about.
Okay, I'll keep an eye on that. I'm sure it won't take any time for people on Reddit to talk about how it works.
Yeah. Okay, so phones. 3 phones this year.
Mm-hmm.
There's an iPhone. There's an iPhone. There's no iPod, sadly. There's an iPhone. There's an iPhone Pro with a Max version. That's the bigger one. And there's a new one, an iPhone Air, which is like a skinny iPhone.
Yeah, which has been rumored for like months, if not years at this point. But here it is.
Yeah, I think one of the tech tubers I follow, I was watching their coverage of this that was like, yeah, this looks like half of a foldable iPhone. If you're asking me, and I was like, oh wow, okay, here we are. Okay, so we're gonna run through these pretty quick. Basically everything has the A19 processor. The Pro has a Pro version. The Air has a Pro version.
Yeah, they have both. So really, it's just the base 17 is the only one that has the non-Pro A19.
Yeah, and the only difference is that the Pro has 6 cores on the iPhone Pro, 6 GPU cores, and the iPhone, the A19 Pro on the Air, I think only has 5, and the A19 on the iPhone also only has 5 cores on the GPU.
Seem like they all have the same CPU cores though.
Yeah, it's 6 cores, 2 bigs and 4 littles, which they've been doing for a long time.
Yeah.
They didn't talk about RAM in the keynote. I don't know if they posted RAM specs, but the rumor I heard is that there's more RAM in all of these.
Okay.
Which makes sense for AI stuff. So I like the TLDR here is that I think that the base iPhone, this is a huge winner this year because it gets really a bunch of previously Pro features that they haven't put on this before.
Yeah, I we'll address the E model situation at the end, but I had kind of I've been on an SE.
Yeah.
And kind of because I just don't need much in a phone, and I had been thinking, when I'm done with this SE, I'll move to one of these new E budget models. But then I took a look at this thing. The 16E that came out earlier this year is kind of expensive for a quote unquote budget phone.
Yeah.
But also this base 17 has gotten so much stuff that was in the Pro.
That's it.
That it's actually starting to feel silly. Maybe it's only an extra like $200 for way more functionality in the camera, in the screen, on and on. Like it's this base model is like shockingly kind of generous, I feel like, by Apple standards.
Yeah, I kind of felt like that too. So other thing is across the line, everything starts at 256 gigabytes now, which is I think
that's also
that feels like the right amount of storage for these.
Yes, a 256 gig. That's what I have now, but 256 base is like pretty generous unless you're shooting like tons of video or whatever. I feel like
I think this is maybe the first time they've ever had a base model phone that I wasn't like, oh man, that's too small.
Yeah. Yes, that's absolutely every single time prior. It's been like, I don't feel great buying the base storage.
Yeah.
Now, just to close the loop on the storage stuff, though, it seems like there's only one upgrade option
on the iPhone.
The regular iPhone is from 256 to 512, and that is a $200 upgrade.
Which then puts you in iPhone Air and iPhone Pro territory.
But it used to only be $100 for the first storage upgrade, so they have not. They've eliminated that option.
Well, look, you go and buy a. I mean, it's a. I used to always hate this argument because it's kind of specious, I thought, but like a the difference in price between a 256 and a 512 gig SSD, which is essentially what we're talking about here, is not $100. It's not $200.
The storage upgrade pricing has always felt like a very high margin situation, but of course, because it's Apple.
Also worth mentioning, when you trade the phones back in, they don't ask you how much capacity you have. It's just what model is this, and is it in good condition or bad condition?
You don't say. Although it's interesting though, between this base storage upgrade and I don't know if you've seen all the at least MacBook Pros. I'm not sure about Airs, but at least the new MacBook Pros all start at 24 gig now.
Oh, that's RAM.
Yes, I think they start at 24. They have a 24 gig option now. Like
they're doing better.
Yes, that's what I mean. Is like I feel like the insultingly small RAM and storage baseline specs that Apple has been kind of notorious for feels like it's maybe softening a little bit.
That's good. So there's no big version of this. They haven't done that in a couple of years, apparently. I didn't realize that.
It seemed like the 15 was the last Plus model.
Yeah, it makes sense. The display gets the 120 hertz adaptive refresh rate screen. This
is the one for me. Like, this is the one that tipped me over into like, maybe I'm not going to get the budget one next time I buy a phone. Maybe I will just get the base model, because having the promotion in the base model and not having to get a Pro for that is huge.
Yeah, with that, you also get the always on lock screen, which I think I want to say I think that's an adaptive refresh rate feature, because they turn the refresh rate way down.
Yeah, so it would have to be like they like the watch is the same way. They drop it to 1 hertz when it's not doing anything to save battery life. So no base iPhone has ever had the always on screen before?
I don't believe so. I don't know that for sure. Okay. 3000 nits peak brightness. It has the Ceramic Shield 2, which is their more scratch. It's okay. The watch was 2 times more scratch resistant than the last one. This is 3 times more scratch resistant than the last one, Brad.
Well, that's the Ceramic Shield 2 difference.
Yeah, that's what does it. And it has an anti-reflective coating, which is nice.
Does this only have the ceramic on the front glass, like not on the back?
I believe so. I don't think they talked about the back having Ceramic Shield. Because
they call it, we'll get to the Air in a second, but they called it out on the Air as saying, hey, this has Ceramic Shield all the way around. So I assume that's not the case on the base.
Look, man, if that thing didn't have Ceramic Shield all the way around, it would just, you might as well just explode the battery out the back.
Snap like a twig the first time you sat down.
Exactly. Okay. So we talked about the SoC. It's a 3 nanometer rather, A19. Looking at their block diagram of the thing, it's like half CPU and GPU, 30% AI crap, and then the rest is the other stuff, the modems and all the stuff that makes the thing work.
I don't necessarily mind the NPU stuff because it feels like Apple's use of that stuff is much more like just additive to their base experience as opposed to here's a bunch of generative shit you don't want. Like setting stuff like Genmojis aside, but
I don't think they talked about ChatGPT integration at all.
They did use the term LLM 2 or 3 times, but
all of their almost all of their AI and machine learning examples were like machine learning examples, not generative stuff.
Right. It was like, machine learning to profile your health data or like visual search for like, draw a circle around this bench this stool that you want to search and have it search Google for that or it's like.
There was a little bit about like customizing, summarizing things for you and stuff like that, which I guess is LLM stuff. But anyway.
Yeah.
Cameras. This is the thing people care about. 50% charge in 20 minutes with a wired charge. It's faster charging. And this does get live translation on the iPhone for this model because it has all the NPU stuff. Cameras. Rear cameras are 48 megapixel. It's that dual fusion main camera, which is a thing they rolled out last year. It has basically 2 sets of optics inside it through some magic and software. It's a 48 megapixel main camera, and you get a 12 megapixel 2x telephoto, which they described as optical quality, which seems like digital zoom to me.
Optical quality screams not actually optical.
Yeah. There's also a 48 megapixel fusion ultra wide, which is it's the 0.5 zoom wide angle lens, so you can get real up close on people and do macro shots and stuff. Front cameras across the board, I think, got an upgrade. They call it the center stage front camera. It's a square sensor. And that means that if you want to, so previously sensors were like a 16:9 or 4:3 aspect ratio.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to change to be landscape or portrait, you actually had to rotate the phone.
Yeah.
Since it's square, it just picks that intelligently based on how many people are in the frame.
Right. It just crops based on face detection and stuff like that. That's neat. That seems like a cool change. And also like, I don't care about camera stuff as much as some people, but like it's another thing where all this camera stuff added in with the promotion and with, some of this other stuff like really makes this feel like a pretty compelling package for a base model.
Getting the nice cameras, it turns out, is nice. They also stabilize action mode on the rear camera with that. So if you're running or something, it uses the edges of the frame to make the picture more stable.
Yeah.
As the person with long arms who often ends up having to take the family selfies, I appreciate this mode a lot.
Yeah.
Because it means I don't have to do the scary reach.
It's smart usability stuff.
iPhone Pro is, hold on. That comes in 5 colors: lavender, blue, black, white, and sage, which is green.
Mm-hmm.
Lavender's purple.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts at $800, I think, US. I don't think prices went up on anything, which, shout outs to Apple. I guess they went and paid fealty. So we don't, maybe we don't shout out to Apple for this. iPhone Pro is aluminum this year, not titanium.
Actually, sorry, real quick. Was the 16 also 800? Has this been the pricing for a while?
It's really hard to find launch Apple pricing because it goes away the moment they do it. I think it was 600. I think it was $800.
Okay.
I think this has been $800 for a long time, but I was
wondering if tariffs had played a role here, but it sounds like maybe no.
The Pro is the same price as it's always been for what it's worth. That's the one I bought most recently. So I remember.
Good to know.
Okay. So the Pro, they've moved away from the titanium body back to aluminum, which is interesting because I like the titanium a lot. It's the I don't use a case. It's been basically indestructible. I've dropped it on concrete and doesn't have any gouges in it or anything.
Interesting. Okay. So they did their like industrial porn presentation of showing machining out of a solid block of aluminum and multiple anodization baths and so on. But voiceover used the term unibody.
They've done unibody, the frames for these have been one piece for a long time.
I could have sworn she said this was the first unibody iPhone.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. Silver, orange, and blue.
Dude,
that orange is rad.
It looks cool. It looks nice. Is there no black option? Is this the first time there has not been a black option on an iPhone model?
I don't think they had a black option on the titanium ones either.
Oh, wild.
I don't know. I always buy white, so that's a question I'm not prepared to answer.
All right. Well, okay.
It's got a big giant battery, and it looks so. There's a whole. They call this thing the plateau. It looks like a pimple hanging off the back of your iPhone.
I don't like it.
It's like goes across the entire back. It has the cameras in it.
Yeah, we'll also talk about this with the iPhone Air. I am kind of over camera bumps, honestly. I know they're a fact of life now and they're not going away, and that sucks, but I would actually just take a thicker phone that flattened the back of the phone again.
Well, this is where you and I differ. We'll talk about that in a minute.
I want it to lie flat on a surface.
So, Brad, I think they're putting it looks like they're putting all the electronics for the phone, all the boards, everything that makes the phone work in that plateau.
On the Pro?
I don't know about on the Pro. Definitely on the Air.
The Air, yeah, we'll get to the Air. That sounds right for the Air. I'm not so sure about the Pro though.
They didn't show a cutaway of the Pro that I saw. So, but it's the same size, and there's the vapor chamber and all that stuff. So anyway,
dude, this thing has a vapor chamber.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Is this the first phone that has ever had a vapor chamber? And certainly the first one I have heard of.
Absolutely, there's absolutely been an Android phone that's done a vapor chamber, but it was a bad idea there. Okay. So the antennas go around the plateau. There's glass. It's like a glass aluminum sandwich there that makes the whole thing work. It's Ceramic Shield 2.0 front and back. The back glass is kind of small. It's just that big patch in the middle underneath the plateau.
Yeah.
They did all this to maximize battery space, apparently, which is like, hey, shout outs to battery. We love batteries. It's basically the same SoC as the iPhone Air, except this one has one extra GPU core, I believe. And it has a thermal management system that they put in a foam that has a vapor chamber filled with deionized water that can move heat from the SoC to the other parts of the phone to dissipate cooling. They talked about using the aluminum instead of the titanium because it has better heat dissipation capability.
Yep.
I think it's pretty ridiculous to use a vapor chamber in a phone, but also my phone gets hot as hell, so I get it.
I guess they know what they're doing.
Yeah. I guess I'd rather have that than a fan. So, and they talked about
God help us.
Yeah, they've talked about US versions of depending on the region you're in, you can get either a physical SIM or an eSIM on the iPhone Pro still.
I didn't realize they were doing
the US. We get eSIMs exclusively, I believe.
Oh, actually, I guess my SE3 does have a SIM slot. Now that I look at it,
yeah.
I thought they had gone eSIM only on everything already. And then they talk about like not having the physical SIM slot gives them more battery space.
So the camera is that Fusion camera. They all three of the cameras are those Fusion cameras with the dual optics business that lets them say it's not digital zoom somehow. There's an 8x optical zoom on the telephoto. The sensor for the telephoto is bigger than last gen. It's a new telephoto sensor this go around, so better low light, all the normal stuff that happens every time they update the sensor. They're still applying a ton of machine learning to everything to pretty it up and combine the outputs from the three sensors and all that. So yeah, and you basically each of the three lenses, each of the three camera sensors has two modes. So you go from ultra wide to the 8x telephoto and everything in between.
Apparently they filmed this entire event on iPhone 17 Pros.
Yep.
And it was a very good looking presentation. Do you think they shot all those drone shots with iPhones?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, totally. Man. You get hangers that hang the phone off the bottom of the drone.
A lot of drone shots in this thing.
They love a drone shot, man. They also do boom shots at the Apple headquarters too. So they're quiet.
It was a very good looking video, I have to say.
Yeah, so the Pro, like they keep adding weird Pro level features into the iPhone Pro.
That was my big takeaway. Like I don't keep up with high end iPhone models because I'm not in that market.
Yeah,
I've always assumed the iPhone Pro was just the fancy one for people who wanted to spend a ton of money on their phone.
No, that's right.
Well, I'm sure it is that as well. Just like the Apple Watch Ultra is ostensibly for people who go diving and mountaineering, but also
exclusively,
for people who sit in offices. But my big takeaway from this, though, was like this thing is actually like extremely production level with some of the features they're adding in terms of like, you know, actual film and TV production environments. Like they've added ProRes RAW support.
They've had ProRes. They've had RAW support. They haven't had ProRes RAW support, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. It's got Genlock now.
I was gonna say the crazy thing to me is that they have Genlock, which is a thing that you use to sync like the frame capture timing on multiple cameras at the same time if you're working in a production thing. So you can have clean frame perfect cuts from one camera to another.
Right.
And they're doing that with a Blackmagic Pro dock that's not available until like next year, I think.
That dock is hilarious. It's got like BNC connectors on it. Like, obviously that's all like standard expected production level hardware. It's just the part where it ends and it terminates in a tiny little USB-C cable that plugs into your phone. You know, it's just like, it's the blending of production tier hardware with the thing that goes in your pocket that you make phone calls on. That's just kind of, it's just a weird juxtaposition to me. Obviously it all works.
I mean, so I think the other thing is they added higher speed transfer out of the USB port because the other phones have USB 2 data and USB 3 power.
Yeah, sure.
Classic iPhone.
Yep.
This one does USB 3 up to 10 gigabits, I think.
I was just about to ask I wonder if it goes up to 10. That's cool. That helps.
Well, kind of. It's still less good than external media for the poor person who has to corral media at a shoot.
Yeah.
My assumption is if people are using these in actual real production environments, they have like 10 phones and they're cycling between them.
Yeah.
I'm wildly curious to hear if people are actually shooting stuff on iPhone Pros that Apple isn't paying for.
That was exactly my question, is that it felt like every time they've talked about using like shooting serious stuff on iPhones before, it's just been like a marketing bullet point for Apple.
Yeah. Hey guys, we got Steven Soderbergh to shoot something, or hey guys, we got Spike Jonze to shoot something.
Right. But that presentation at the end of this showing this being used in, I mean, these were mocked up, obviously production environments.
Yeah.
But like, are people actually just using this on film sets now?
Look, I think the thing that you should think about this as is if Kevin Smith was making Clerks today, instead of putting $40,000 worth of camera rental stuff on his credit cards, he would probably just buy an iPhone Pro. And
a little Steadicam thing
and a couple and rent some dollies and stuff.
Yeah. When you put it in that context.
Actually, no, it's Kevin Smith, so he's not going to get dollies. He's just going to get one tripod and frame it in exactly the same way for every single shot, and it's done. Yeah.
Yeah. But when you put it in that context of like up and coming, you know, people that used to shoot on little 8mm cameras now can get something like this, like that makes more sense than like Michael Bay is shooting action scenes with this thing or something.
Yeah, I think Soderbergh shot that movie famously with the iPhone 10, I think, or 8. I can't remember. It was a long time ago.
He's enough of a filmmaking nerd that he probably considered that like an interesting challenge.
Well, right. And he also started making stuff on like 8mm and videotape, right? Like famously. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, I think it's good that this stuff is accessible. I'm like, I don't think the next Transformers movie is going to be shot on iPhone Pro.
Right.
And then the last one is the iPhone Air, which is like I was fascinated by this. So it's a really, really thin iPhone. It has a polished titanium frame, so it's shiny and very pretty. It splits the gap. The iPhone Pro starts at $1099 plus $100 for the Max version, plus more money for the bigger storage.
Up to 2 terabytes.
Well, the 2 terabytes makes sense for people who are using it in a shooting environment.
Of course. It's still just the idea of 2 terabytes in a phone is just kind of wild.
I mean, let me tell you, I shot one of my kids' talent shows with iPhone RAW one time, and man, I wish I had a bigger phone because it took an hour-long talent show was 85 gigabytes or something ridiculous.
I believe it.
The Air splits the gap. It starts at the grand. It's basically just like the phone pimple and the battery, and that's the entire thickness of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the ceramic shield glass on both sides. I think everything is in the bump on that phone. All the hardware that makes the phone a phone, it lives inside the plateau.
Yeah, that I believe that. This is not for me. I don't know about you. Like, I don't need a phone this thin, and I especially don't love the very top heavy nature of having this giant module at the top of this otherwise like wafer thin.
I was getting ready to pre-order one. I meant to do it this morning and I forgot when I was up.
Wow. Okay.
I love a small phone.
Okay.
Like if they made an iPhone mini, I would have bought that this go round.
It's not a small footprint though. It's just thin. It's like it's still a 6.5-inch screen. Like it's still like the X and Y of it are basically the same as any normal phone.
But for me, the weight is a huge deal because like I use my phone a lot. I know you don't.
We'll see how people feel once they get it in the hand. But again, putting all the electronics at the top of the phone, I wonder how the balance is going to feel. I'm sure Apple figured this out. But
I'm going to see. Let's see if I get the white one in 256 gigabytes. I don't want to trade in. I'm going to trade in if I do it, but I'm just going to buy it.
I know there's already stories going around. Like I looked at Mac Rumors this morning. It was already like, here's how long it's going to take now if you didn't already pre-order to get one. And it was like a month now.
Damn. Well, might as well not get it then.
Yep.
Yeah, I get mine. If I ordered it right now, it delivers between September 29th and October 6th. So an extra 10 days. So yeah, it looks real thin. It looks like it bends if you put it in your back pocket. It comes in black, white, gold, and blue. All these screens are 3000 nits, I think. Even the regular iPhone one. So it'll be real bright in daylight. Yeah.
So all the iPhone 17s have ProMotion now.
And this has the Apple N1, which is their Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and Thread chip in it. I think both this and the Pro. I'm not sure about the regular iPhone. They didn't mention that. I think it's interesting that the phones have Thread radios now.
Yeah. I don't know what they'll use that for, but I guess you could use the phone as a smart device controller potentially, or Node.
to hook them up to your network probably is the thing.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
C1, it has a C1X, which is the second version of their first modem.
Yeah, so I want to say it was the 16E that shipped earlier this year. The budget 16 was the first one that had the C1, which was their first generation in-house cellular modem, because I think they were using Qualcomm previously for that.
Yeah, Qualcomm before.
This sounds like an improved version of the C1 as opposed to a full. They probably would have called it a C2 if it was full second gen.
Yeah, they said it's faster and uses less power. So
like 30% less power, which makes me wonder. They did not mention this being in the base 17. So do we think it's not in the base 17?
I don't think it's in the Pro either, Brad. I think that this is. I wonder if this is how they managed to make it so small.
Oh, yeah. Okay. This was like hey, we got this together as fast as we could for this thin phone.
Yeah, my guess is that how many of these they make is the gate on how many of these phones they can make.
That makes sense, because when you say, hey, the modem in this uses 30% less power, it's kind of a bummer for it to not be in the other models, but
yep,
it is just one component of the system that's probably not going to make a huge difference to overall battery life.
The big thing about this is it only has one camera on the back.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got one quad mode camera. Basically, it's the 48 megapixel, 12 megapixel, 2x zoom, same as the iPhone 7, the regular iPhone. 4 lenses in your pocket is the thing that they said.
I think
did they say 8? I thought that was for the big one.
I'm pretty sure. No, I'm pretty sure they said 8 lenses in your pocket, which I don't know about that.
We'll see how the upscaling works. And all of these you can do dual capture video on now, so front and back at the same time.
Yeah, that's neat. That's a neat feature.
Actually, I don't know if you can do that on the normal iPhone. I think that might be Air and Pro only. So like you can record the video they showed as you recording yourself at your kid's soccer game, which is weirdly centering you at your child's soccer game, but whatever. I'm not here to judge probably. They do adaptive power mode. They talked about adaptive power mode in this, which I'm curious if I assume that's an iOS 26 feature coming to the new version of iOS, where it watches it tracks how you use your battery over time and adjusts things like performance so it ensures you have battery at the times that you need it most.
Your daughter will be thrilled.
Dude, I don't even want to talk
the house. Nope. Leaving the house with 30% battery has never been more workable.
I'm sure it's not coming to her 13 mini.
No.
They showed a bunch of accessories with this. They're making a MagSafe battery that is designed to nestle in under the plateau on this. It looks very thin. It gets it to basically normal iPhone Pro battery life with the MagSafe.
I think it's very funny that both adding a battery and also equalizing the thickness of that top module bump thing kind of just turns it into a normally sized phone.
I did the eyeballing on the measurements, and I think with the ring that I put on the back of my phone, it's going to be exactly the right thickness to balance out the pimple. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I think it's really funny that they're making an official crossbody strap for the iPhone, because this has been
I had never heard of this before. We were watching the presentation last night, and I was like, who does that? And my girlfriend was like, oh yeah, these are like all over Amazon.
Wildly popular. The TikTok shop is full of them.
Really?
Yeah. So
this is a body strap. To be clear, what we're talking about is effectively kind of a crossbody, like shoulder strap that you hang your phone from.
Yeah.
I don't. Okay, sure.
The two edges of the strap hit into the two bottom corners of the phone. It seems like a really good way to get your phone stolen, but what do I know? Or
damaged. It just feels like having your phone swing around all over the place is maybe a little risky, but okay.
I'm curious if the old MagSafe batteries are going to work with the Plateau. But that's pretty much it. I guess.
I bet not. I'm happy for you. The iPhone Air is not for me.
Yeah. See, I look, I'm going to go and tell you, I'm ordering it. I'm not doing the in-person trade-in, so I have a week or two to decide if I want to keep it. Yeah, because I'm a little skeptical.
All right, I'd be curious to hear about it for sure, but this is absolutely not something I will ever want.
That's the thing is I want to try it and see if I like it.
Like I said, I would the iPhone 17, except with the case as thick as the camera bump to accommodate more battery, would be like the perfect phone to me.
Yeah, I can see that.
It does not seem to be the direction that Apple is ever going to go in.
No, I don't think so.
Because thinness seems to be king there.
Look, thinness is king. I guess that's it for the show. That's it, right?
Sure, that's about it. Yeah.
They didn't talk about a mini. They didn't talk about an E.
Yeah, so that's the big question for me. Although less of a question now that the base model is so appealing. I don't know that I'm actually as interested in an E, especially with the 16E being dramatically more expensive than the SE was. That was the big disappointment of the E. I was just like, oh, they're just going to rebrand the SE, which was like under $500. But when they bumped it up to base $600 price, and like when you look at how much more you're getting in the base model, like the ProMotion, like way better camera, all this other stuff, like the E model, I don't know.
That's it for me. I think the big surprise for me was that the base iPhone is the big winner this time. Yeah, I think the Air is neat and interesting, and I'm glad that they're trying new things.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised we didn't see a Foldy phone, although I get why, because those get, like, everybody I know that has one of those, when I look at it, I think, oh, that where the fold happens in the phone would make me crazy.
Yeah, same. The last thing I'll say on the E, I don't think it was even guaranteed that we're going to get a 17E next year, because the SE was only like an every 3 to 4 year release. But all the Apple rumor sites seem to be treating the 17E as a done deal for next year. So it seems like we will be getting annual budget phones now.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't think you're wrong,
but it's less budget. So
yeah. But I guess that's some good places I need to wrap it up. As always, Brad Will Made a Tech Pod is a listener supported show. We wouldn't be here without you all, the listeners. So if you would like to find out how to support the show, you can go to Patreon. It's patreon.com/techpod, where for $5 a month, you get access to the Discord. You get the monthly patron exclusive episode where you hear us talk about, well, kind of a wide ranging variety of topics these days.
Yeah. Tell me how to not blow up these external hard drives that I'm going to try to power.
I already told you. Or these guys.
Or if you're a very malicious person, come and tell me how to blow them up.
No, don't do that. No. But yeah, as always, thanks to everybody who supports the show, but a very special thank you to our executive producer tier patrons, including Jason Lee, Infelicitous Rips, Andrew Slosky, Jordan Lippett, Bunny Money, Twinkle Twinkie, David Allen, James Kamek, and Pantheon, makers of the HS3 high-speed 3D printer. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Brad, I guess that's it. I hope you have a lovely weekend, and we will see everybody next week. Please consider the environment before printing this podcast.